Hey guys, it's Gameface here and welcome back to episode 87 of my Leeds Career Mode. Now in today's episode, we're going to be finishing off December and hopefully moving into January so we can get into some more signings. Before we get into January though, we do have a game against Aston Villa and also a game against Arsenal as well. Now before we get into things, apologies if I don't sound too great. I've got a very sore throat at the moment, so apologies about that. But if we could go hit 20 likes on this video, that'd be really appreciated. Also, if you haven't already, then please hit the subscribe button as well. That'd be absolutely fantastic. It's only one click of a button, and it would be really appreciated if you do that. Let's move on to this Villa game. This is the team we're going to be putting out for the match. As you can see, the usual defence plays there. Ramirez alongside Eric Dyer in midfield, and Iheanacho up front are the main players that you can't quite see there. So let's see how we get on. Bridcut on the left-hand side yet again. He's been doing quite well there. So, you know, he could play quite well in this game as well. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, for that. Also, if you didn't see the previous episode, which you can watch by clicking the link below, it sounds like Bailey wants to leave and Smith wants to leave as well. So we need to get in some new centre-backs. And you guys seem to agree with me that we should get in John Stones. That might happen in this episode or it might be next episode. We'll have to wait and see. And there was also a suggestion that I get in Ive as well for the left wing. That's a very good suggestion. I'll have to have a look at that one again. That might be at the end of this episode. Not 100% sure yet, but let's get on with this match. Hopefully beat Aston Villa and get 3 points because we are second at the moment. We need to try and get first if we can so we can hold on to it for the remainder of the season. Here we go, tough game for us against Villa. I'm not really too sure where they are on the table, but again, it's going to be a tough game, and it's going to have to be one that we need to really try and get an early goal in. Iheanacho looking for Calvin Phillips. It's an early chance. Calvin Phillips off the post. Should really be scoring that one. Just didn't quite get the finesse right round the goalkeeper. And that's probably Calvin Phillips' only downside. His finishing isn't that good. Eric Dyer looking for Iheanacho. It's going to be too far, I think. Oh no, Iheanacho's got it. But cleared away by Charlie Ted. I don't know what the keeper was doing there. And as over the first half, still drawing the game 0-0. We're on top. We definitely have dominated that first half. Just not really a clear-cut chance for us at the moment. We're going to keep things the same. I think we can create enough chances to score. We just need to get a decent one for someone to finish off. Iheanacho's been given the ball here by Baker, who's going to try and catch up to him. He's still going, Iheanacho, though. On his left foot. Can he kill this one round? Surely must go in, and it has done. I thought I was going to stay out. Oh my days, I think it's Bunn that's playing in goal. Just managed to get something on it. In the end, it just about goes in. I think the goalkeeper had given up before it had gone in anyway. But there we have the goal line technology telling us it's gone over, even though it was quite blatantly obvious in the end. We're winning the game 1-0. Iheanacho scores it. Only just rolls on the back of the net. But we'll take it. 1-0, just 4 minutes into the second half. Mane easily past the defender. Mane's still going. Gonna have a shot. Oh my days, what a hit. How that's got in from that angle, I've got no idea. There was no stopping that. What a strike. Into the back of the net. 2-0. And that is a hell of a finish from Mane. I keep on saying I need to try him down the middle because he's incredible on the right-hand side. So I've got no idea what it'll be like down the middle. What a finish that is. Really, Bunn should probably save that at his near post, but we'll take it. It's 2-0, and I think the changes will happen now, actually. And here are the changes. Cook's going to come on along with Yaya Toure and Redmond. That means that Mane goes up front. Yep, thought I'd try it out, may as well. Eric Dyer comes off along with Calvin Phillips and Iheanacho. Give those players a rest, and there's just around about 30 minutes left now for us to see the rest of the game out. Hopefully get 1 or 2 more goals, though, as well. That is it. We've won the game 2-0. To be honest, we probably should have conceded in that second half after we made the changes. It didn't really work for us. We didn't really have much of an outlet with Mane up front. It didn't quite work, that one. Maybe we'll try Mane just in behind the striker next time. They actually only had 1 shot on target and 3 shots, but they dominated us in possession and definitely deserved at least 1 goal, I'd say, from that second half performance. We just kind of played against them how the computer usually plays against us, getting blocks in all the time. So we were very lucky with some of those chances that Villa had. They're currently 6th, but more importantly, we're first. We're ahead of Man City and Man United. They're on the same points, but we are ahead on goal difference, which is great news, especially after those 2 goals that we scored in that last game. This is Bailey, wants to be sold. He must be sold, in fact, which we found out in the last episode. So we need to get in 2 new centre-backs. That will have to happen after the Arsenal game, though. First of all, let's do some player development and try and get some of those 5 players going up in overalls, if not attributes. Nelson actually goes up to 78, which is great news. He goes up on 3 of the attributes, which is the reason why he goes up. And Butland also goes up on 1, I think. But other than that, the other 3 players I don't think did too much moving. Okay, on to this Arsenal game. I've made a lot of changes for this match because we only played, I think, 2 days ago, something like that. So we've got a very tired team. That means we've gone defensively 5-4-1. Butland starts in goal, Nelson at right back, Alves comes in at centre back alongside Capella and Smith, Gomez at left back. In front of them, then we've got Cohen on the left, Cook and Yaya Toure in midfield. So not a particularly fast midfield like we usually have. And Wilson on the right-hand side with Jamie Vardy up front. That leaves us with a bench looking a little bit like this. I don't know if the Silva can actually play or not. I assume he can, given that he's only got a plaster symbol there. But he remains on the bench because he's just coming back from injury. Not too many options even on the bench for us either. So hopefully Silva can play, because we might need him in this game at some point. It's going to be a very tough game against Arsenal. And let's see how we get on. I'm already thinking that it might not go too well this match, but we've got really no choice. We had to kind of go quite defensively because we lacked a good quality players anywhere else. We're away to Arsenal. This is the team that they've put out. To be fair, it's actually a little bit changed. There's some good players in there, obviously, but Debussy doesn't really look like a starter to me. Gibbs doesn't look like much of a starter. Ozil's on the bench. Wilshire's on the bench. Welbeck is also on the bench as well, along with Socrates. So there's a couple of players that have been rotated out, I think, there. I think Toriel's a youngster, so he might be another player that doesn't usually play for them, and that might not actually be that good. But still, it's a good Arsenal team. There's some quality in there, obviously, as you'd expect. And yeah, we've just got to really try and be good defensively in this match. It's going to be tough, though. Joe Gomez lacking support going forward, so he's still going here, Joe Gomez. Onto his right foot, nearly got into a shooting position. Maybe should have passed that one, but a decent start for us. I wouldn't be too worried if we conceded early on here, because the same thing happened against Barcelona, and we ended up winning that game 2-1 and playing a very similar style. So I don't want to concede, obviously, but if it happened, it wouldn't be a disaster, I don't think. Coman getting involved now. Going to look for Yaya Toure here. Yaya, can he bend one in? No. Just lost it at the last second. Oh, what a pass from Jamie Vardy. Finds Callum Wilson, who we know has got a lot of pace. Does he have to finish with it? No, not quite right at Cech, who beats it away. And on for an Arsenal counter-attack, I think, here. Oh, Lewis Cook's played through Yaya Toure. 1-0. What a pass through. That came from nowhere. Wasn't expecting it. And what a ball through to Yaya Toure, who he actually made the run to go through, and he scores. But 1-0 against Arsenal. This 5-4-1 does work for us. Vardy into Lewis Cook, plays it to the other centre mid. That's how far forward those players are. And he slots at home past Cech. And we're about 22 minutes in, 1-0. Fantastic finish from Yaya. Oh no, it's through. Good save from Butland. With Giroud. Oh, another good save from Butland, who, to be fair, has had a cracking game for us so far. We need to make a change at half-time, and I think it'll be Silva that comes on, because at the moment we're having to sit back further and further by the minute, and if you continue to do that for another 45 minutes, it's only going to end in you conceding, and it's happened just before half-time, just as I was on about, so it is 1-1 now. Probably deserved, I'd say. We've not really had any decent shots. We've obviously had a couple of decent saves from Butland, but I think we have looked good going forward, so I'm not too concerned by that. And like I say, the change will be made at half-time. And it is half-time, obviously 1-1 still. Let's make the change. We'll take Vardy off, who it doesn't really have the quality, like I was mentioning before, to really do anything in this match. So we'll take him off. He was literally just there as a fill-in. Now we've got Silva, and I think he's going to do a better job, to be honest, for us. It's just now making sure that we've got enough pace in there with Yaya Toure and Cook. No way, it's through. What a save from Butland. Oh, well kept out. I don't know who's headed that. I think it might have been Alves who just kept out. Now, it could have been Smith, though. Oh my days, that was so close. Approaching the 60th minute, Ozil's being brought on. Maybe Arsenal are panicking a little bit now as well. And I think we just need to get the ball up in their half a bit more, because they look quite dangerous when that happens. They're passing it around very quick. It's unbelievably quick from Arsenal at the moment. We just can't keep up with it, and we need to get up, because at the moment, we're going to concede a second at this rate. Silva playing it through to Kingsley Coman. We need to use this pace out wide if we can. Cuts inside, and that's a decent tackle in the end from Koscielny. Might have hit his hand, but we'll let him off. Final change. Redmond's going to come on, and we will take Yaya Toure off, who's looking very tired. And yes, I'm putting Callum Wilson in midfield. Wilson looking for Silva. That's a brilliant pass if he's not offside. Silva. Oh, what a save from Cech. I'll tell you what, Wilson looks really good as a centre mid. I might have to play him there more often. I know I like to kind of switch people's positions up quite a lot. But Wilson just won back the ball fantastically, like a proper midfielder does. And Redmond will take this corner. Cech punches away. Just need to try and get it back in now if we can, but Gomez is being hassled. Does well, though. Capella, looking for space. He's found Nelson. Tries to find the back heel to Redmond. Couldn't quite get there. We can't win it back, and they're on the edge of our box. I thought I'd gone in. And as we've drawn the game 1-1, considering the circumstances that we were in, a draw isn't too bad against Arsenal, really, is it? Would have liked the win. I think we could have actually nicked the win there, but it just didn't quite go our way. Look at the shots that they've had and the possession. I actually don't think that sums up the game particularly well, those stats. But we got the draw. I think it's deserved, to be honest. We'll take it. It could have been worse given the players that we had available to us. But we'll move on to the next match, which will be obviously in the next episode, because we're now in the January transfer window, which is great news for us. We have gone down to third, though. We're 2 points behind Man City now. But third's still pretty good for this point in the season. We're halfway now through the season, which is incredible. So we've got Alex Green accepting the contract. He was apparently getting quite unsettled in the youth academy, so we promoted him in the last episode. And Cook is not available for the next game that we play. Some other players that we might well promote at some point. Got a lot of goalkeepers that are pretty good, so we won't promote any more just yet. This guy doesn't look too bad, though. We might offer Kingsley a new a contract to get into the first team. 3-year deal for him. And any other players that look good, just more keepers mainly. I think we're lacking some outfield players that are good quality. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to go through the squad and list some players. First of all, Bailey is already transfer listed. Smith is also on the way out, sadly, as well, because he refused a contract. He's only got 6 months left on his deal, though, so I'm not going to get too much for him. And we need to start looking at new centre-backs now. We also need to start getting rid of the players that we don't really need as part of this squad. And there's quite a few of those, mainly youngsters. As you can see, the amount of left-backs that we've got. We don't really need 6 at the club, do we? Okay, I've listed 1 or 2 players. I'm not going to show you them, though, because there's no big names, to be honest, that I've added to the list that weren't already on there. One thing that we are going to do is we're going to request some funds. We're going to request 10 million, see whether they let us have that, and we're just going to put the targets at the maximum level. We're also going to take a look at some centre-backs now. We don't have loads of money to spend, which is probably why we probably need to get rid of some players before we can sign them. But Stones might be affordable on that budget. With this not being the latest squad update, he might not be too much, but we'll have to wait and see. He could be 20 million for all I know. Wasn't far off, was I? Let's be honest. 19 million on his value, 83 overall. And we can sign him on a contract expiry, which might be a good idea. Although we do need someone now, really. So let's try and get him on the cheap first. 70 grand a week, that's not too bad. We might just put a £6 million bid in, see what they say to that Everton. I'm assuming they're going to reject it, but we'll see what they say to that initially. And if not, then we can try and get him on a pre-contract agreement, maybe. We'll see if we can do that afterwards. I was another player that was suggested in the comments of the previous video. Don't really know how good he is, so I'm not going to really put too much money on the line. I'm just going to go with 2 million to begin with. He's on 60 grand a week, though, so he's probably worth a bit more than that, to be honest. So it's going to be a very low offer, that one, which they'll probably reject. But I'm going to wait until we have the full squad report back on him. Another player that I'm interested in, and I've been scouting, I don't think he's actually part of my shortlist, so I might have to have a look through here thinking about it, is Scott Sinclair. He's a left winger, obviously, so he might be someone that we get in. The only downside is he's 29 years old, so he's not particularly young anymore, but he recently scored a hat-trick, so you know, that was something that I was looking at. Apparently he scored a hat-trick recently. That's what it said on the news anyway. So we'll take a look at him. We'll inquire, see how much they want for him. But we obviously need to again see what his stats are like. There's quite a few decent centre-backs that are available on a contract expiry. That might be the route we go down, to be honest, because there's a lot of good players that have got the contracts running out soon. I listed loads of them. I don't know if it is Yang Vertonghen as well. We might just sign loads of players on pre-contract agreements or try and get them cheaper because they've only got 6 months left on their deal. But there's loads. I think Williams another one. No, okay, maybe it was someone else. There's some big players there that are running out of contract very shortly. This is more like it. Antonio, he looks decent. Look at the pace, look at the dribbling, look at the finishing. That's the sort of left mid I'm after. He's really the ideal player for us. We'll go with 3 million. Again, it might well be rejected, but we'll see what West Ham say. It's worth the bid, I think, because there are some big names, real big names, that are running out of contract this summer. Odegaard has been suggested quite a few times, 20 grand a week. We need a centre attacking mid at the moment. Whether he's the right player to get in, I'm not convinced completely yet, because his passing isn't great, and that's really what you look for a centre attacking mid, or the finishing, or something like that. But he just lacks a standout stat for me. I know his dribbling is quite good, and same with his ball control, but it's nothing particularly standout. So we'll leave that one for now. We won't make that one a priority. We'll just kind of wait and see what they say to those bids that we've put in for the other players. Let's hope that the board have given us some money. I've got a feeling they haven't. Oh my days. They've given us 10 million. Since when would Leeds ever do that? They've given us 10 million extra onto the budget. Oh my days. I should have asked for more, that's what I'm thinking now. We've got a lot of money, especially if we want to sign pre-contract agreement players. I definitely wasn't expecting them to actually go ahead with that. Very good news for us. Slightly less good news is the fact that Scott Sinclair will cost us 9 million, which is quite ridiculous, to be honest. He's definitely not worth 9 million. We'll put in a bid of 3 million and see what they say to that. This guy looks decent. Wouldn't mind getting him in there. We've decided to scout him, just looking at some more centre-backs. He looks incredible. Let's try and get him in. 2 million from Bournemouth. Looks pretty decent. There's another centre-back as well I want to put in a bid for. We'll just check this Everton one out. And he also looks very good. So let's try and get him in there as well. We'll put in another bid. Again, it's just going to be 2 million. Not really too sure how much he's going to be worth. But it's worth the bid, I think. And the final bid that we'll put in for this episode, I believe, unless there's someone else that catches my eye, is going to be for Jason Denayer. Now, I think he should still be at Man City. But he might have moved. I know he's obviously been on loan at various different clubs. But I'm a huge fan of him. I like him. I've got a Man City career mode where I was playing with him loads. And he's an incredible player in game. So, 80 overall. He's at Bayern Munich. Bit different, but he's at Bayern Munich. I think we might have moved for him before, but I can't quite remember. Yes, and they said 12 million at the time. He's probably going to be worth a bit more than that now. He's 80 overall. He looks a little bit out of our league, to be honest. But Bailey's on the way out, so, let's try and use Bailey and see whether Bayern Munich want him. And just go with Bailey plus 3 million, maybe? Let's see what they say to that. And that will be the final thing to do in this episode. The episode is over now. Thank you all for watching. If we could go hit 20 likes on this video, that'd be really appreciated. Also, if you haven't already, then please hit the subscribe button as well. That'd be fantastic to see some new subs coming in very shortly. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the England career mode video, which should be out around midday, I think. So we'll have to wait and see about that one. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time, and goodbye.